was actually bloody hard to find this movie.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I ended up having to sign up for like some
It's on YouTube.
weird channel I've never heard before.
Yeah, I rented it off YouTube. The
Yeah.
restored version.
Yeah, I thought I owned it, so I was confused as shit when I couldn't find it.
Which one are we talking about now?
We're talking about 1973, The
Yes.
Wicker Man.
Oh, that's on Prime.
Not over here.
The shitty remix on Prime.
No, the other one's on Prime.
I looked it up.
Yeah.
It said it wasn't available in my country, even though we're in the same country.
I checked.
Is it available in Wales and not England? Is this
be.
how bad the distribution's getting?
I believe it.
You fucking cross the border into Wales, and that's it.
I've got it on Blu-ray anyway, so I'm sure I saw it on Prime.
No, I legit went to go watch it in Prime, and the only thing that came up was the one we'll not talk about because
We'll talk about that later.
yeah. But yeah, I had to go on YouTube because I'm rented off there because of and it was the restored version, which actually was pretty decent. They didn't do the 4K thing where they just paint everything and make it look horrible. They actually did just tidy up and more with the sound than anything else. Which is a bit ropey at the start, but then it just levels out and really good.
Currently unavailable, so you were right. Yeah, it comes up on the list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it'll come up on the list. It'll tease you, and then you'll add it to your watch list, and then you go to see it, and it's like, nah, you can't watch this.
I hate that they do that
Blu-ray
shit.
anyway.
I think that's another one I'll have to hunt out.
Yeah, same, definitely. 'Cause again, I thought I owned this, so I was confused as shit when I couldn't find it. Because I mean, this is something I'll usually watch, once a year or so.
Oh yeah, it's an absolute classic. I didn't realize. I suppose I have to know stuff, but it was based off The Ritual by David Penner book, and at the moment, it's $25.38 for the paperback. And $196.30 for the hardcover.
So I when I saw that note, I decided to look it up because I'm like, I'm sure that means it's like $2 here. No, it's more here, and it's fucking insane to me because it's the first part of a series. It's like the other books are easily accessible, but the first one, yeah, I found like hardcovers for almost $600. It's like you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those films, wasn't it? It never done very well when it came out, and gradually it sort of picked up afterwards. But, yeah.
I mean, that seems to be how it goes with horror movies. I mean, it's never the box office, it's never opening weekend that makes a difference. I mean, in rare cases, of course, like The Exorcist or shit like that, but in most cases, this is something that, I mean, it's a fucking 41-year-old movie. No, more than that. Whatever. Math is dumb. But yeah, this is an old fucking movie, and it's something that we're gonna be talking about forever.
Yeah. So. I first saw it actually when I was a boy. And I was watching TV one evening, and this was actually on one of the channels. I think it might have been ITV. And as a lad, it scared the living daylights out of me with these, sacrifices in cults that were around. Yeah, it's one of those that stuck in my mind. That it's stuck in my mind ever since. And when it came out on DVD as it was back then. I had it on VHS to start, and DVD, and then of course you get the director's cut, and I bought that on Blu-ray, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But
yeah, and it's one of them that's just immerse itself in popular culture.
Yeah,
and it's funny, especially UK, British Isles, witchcraft was deemed illegal until 1952. And still culturally, the whole idea of we'll still have that mindset of the Romans, colonizing and beating the old tribes down. It's really, really strange culture here. It's funny how things like that linger. like in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And it's that whole thing about, the true Christian God versus those old pesky pagan gods, and who's right or wrong, blah blah blah.
Yeah, man, it's so funny. For being 50 years old, it's still like that's relevant. Like,
Yeah, the
I've
thing, it's
met people that still act like that. And it's like, holy shit! Like, calm the fuck down, dude. It's like,
Come on,
holy-
though. What a class protagonist on Edward Woodward.
oh yeah. I just feel like we'll have to say every time we mention Edward Woodward is apologies for the Equalizer.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's the only thing I feel like I ever have to apologize to America for. Apologize to America for is the
I
Equalizer.
quite like the Equalizer. Yeah.
That was a weird series. What a
Yeah, and there's the thing though between I think it might have been series 1 and series 2. Edward Woodward was taken ill and had heart problems, and that's why they introduced the character to help him in the second series. He had a sort of helper, didn't he, in the second series? And it's because he couldn't overexert himself. Yeah.
He was supposed to be. I think you've seen the Equalizer, the original series.
Yeah, he was the Equalizer. Yeah.
No, I mean, Cameron, have you ever watched that?
No, I'm looking it up right now. I
So
only knew about
basically, what you have somebody going about in like a tweed suit, like Steve from the Avengers, who's supposed to be a crack 3-letter agency assassin.
Yeah.
And he's pushing 50 or 60.
50, 60 something.
Like he was getting on a bit, even, and this is in the 80s. He was getting on a bit, completely unbelievable. And
I think he was trying to revive his old Callan days. Do you remember him in Callan?
God, that was yeah.
So yeah.
He was never a physically imposing actor, but he was always, he was always like roles. I guess he just morphed into roles. He was, but yeah, picture the A-Team and how unbelievable they are. But you've got like an aristocratic Englishman.
But I enjoyed it. I used to love it.
I feel like I actually need to look this shit up.
It was strange, and it was only something that got that time period could produce. Because of course, when you get the films, the remakes with Denzel Washington, it's all serious.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I was like, wait, I don't remember him being in those, because I was thinking the film series, but yeah, that makes sense.
What does the term Wicker Man refer? Really? Look up the Burning Man ceremony. That's a pagan ritual. In fact, you do get it. Have you not seen this movie?
Yeah, what the fuck, Chris?
Yeah.
Go sort your life out immediately. What the hell?
Yeah, no,
it was actually practiced more in England than it was in Scotland, though. The old burning of the.
Well, the book was set in Cornwall.
Yeah. that would have made sense because they're all related down there, aren't they?
Well, Cornwall is Celtic for cousin's wedding.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't go to if they got marriage problems there. The Marriage Guidance Council sessions called related, not relate.
But it works though, because like even today, the Hebrides and the outer islands, I've been out Macrahanish direction and all, are isolated little pockets. And actually, there's parts you can only get to by ferry or seaplane. It's impressive that the local police sergeant just happens to be a pilot. Just casually,
right.
Happens to be a pilot and of a seaplane too, which is.
Well, they probably do in where there's no access to things like that. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it because
like Australia, isn't it? Everyone.
But would the police be allowed onto an island where it's private? I don't know. to
Well,
the
there's no
Lord.
private islands. You know, man, it's under, you know,
Yeah.
it's under the British Isles. Or
You
some,
haven't seen this
it's,
movie, Chris? Oh man,
Yeah,
you need to
don't know
change
what
it.
what?
man.
No, no, no.
No, don't you
Stop.
dare.
Stop right there. Stop. That movie does not exist. Fuck you.
Dude, so yeah, don't
Things that you fucking do.
Oh,
don't watch the Nicolas Cage one.
Yeah, don't
At
do
least
that.
don't watch that one first.
Just don't do it. Just don't. Do you know how bad it was? I tried to snip it like when we originally did the review. And how many years was that I'd put off watching it? And was like, fuck it, I'll do it for Joe. Like the stream was that bad. Even the internet, man, you're not talking about this movie. If you talk about it, you'll will it into existence again.
Well, it's funny. So when I told my wife this is what we were gonna watch, and she's like, "Oh, the Nicolas Cage one. I haven't watched that before." I was like, "Yeah, actually, you have." She's like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, it's just that bad that you blocked it out. Your body's
I knew
doing
it was going to be bad when they moved an English or a Scottish story to America and I made it Americanized. And I thought, no, it can't be. And I watched it and thought it was one of those that I started watching it, went, made a coffee, made dinner, come back, and I knew, well, it's still Nicolas Cage was absolutely appalling in it, along with the rest of the cast. But yeah,
it's pretty bad.
It was bad. But yeah, Edward Woodward and Christopher Lee, like what a casting for this.
Mm-hmm.
come on, who could
Yeah,
be?
especially getting Christopher Lee in drag, like just so
Yeah.
Like seriously in drag and still being menacing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Uh,
Like he's immersed, he's fully immersed. He's dancing his fucking heart out. He's embodying the role, but you still just look at him, even though he's wearing fucking slacks and chucks underneath his dress. You're still just like, yeah, no, he's probably gonna kill me.
yeah.
But he really plays it up as the sort of Scottish Lord, and God, there's like he's a unique person. He'd never get his likes again. You know what I mean? That was the end of the era.
Yeah.
And just embodied the whole role of Lord Summerisle.
Oh yeah.
But the story was absolutely believable.
Yeah.
You know, the crops failed and they had to sacrifice, and you know, all the villagers were all in on it. They wanted this sacrifice to happen, and you know, it gave the impression. One of the things that comes in my book, not to plug it again, The Mist in the Mountain, due out on Wednesday, is what happens in the village stays in the village.
Yeah.
And that's what it was with this island. They were all in on it, and they all loved this Lord Summerisle because he was their leader, and it's just like this is really like I said, it was one of the first horror films that I saw, along with Saturday night on BBC Two, the triple bills of Hammer Horror, and you know, it's just like this is scary stuff, but
and still believable today because there's still places like that. I know it's harder, especially over here, but one thing that did over here, which completely destroyed village life, was decided in was it the 70s? I know, let's move all the chavs, let's build council estates in local villages, and let's move all the scumbags out. And the good influence of the village will right their ways. And in a lot of small villages become absolute shitholes.
yeah.
But down around the borders of Scotland as well, those bordered towns. I was going out with a girl from Kelso, and I happened to we're out walking one of the weekends. I was off, and there's this gang called the Kelso Massive, and everyone was afraid of them. And they're a bunch of wee scrope bags, and they're sort of swaggering about, and they had a phone, and they were playing Bross's "When Will I Be Famous?" Acting like they're like hard nuts, and you're just like,
what the fuck?
Do you know, one of them, you wouldn't believe me if you had, you know, and you had to be there. It's one of them. Is this happening in front of my eyes? And there's people still, oh, the Castle Massive's about, oh, get in, you know. I'm like, what? What is this? It's strange place, but
There's,
yeah,
there's a few things in it. Like when they're dancing around the maypole, they're actually supposed to be singing, and none of the kids' lips are moving. And there's a couple of other things like that where they're supposed
that was
to
a
be.
good song. From the seed becomes a tree, from a tree becomes a
Yeah,
bough,
yeah.
from a bough becomes a bird, becomes a nest, becomes an egg, becomes
All
an
the
egg, becomes a
music,
yeah.
all the music related to the film, didn't it? And it fitted in perfectly with even when what's she called? The girl who was
Willow,
semi-naked, Willow.
semi-naked. She was throwing it all out there. It was brilliant. Actually, just throwing it all out there.
even her song when she was dancing in the bedroom and banging on the door.
Okay, that was totally a stunt butt, right? Like it kept throwing me off because I'm like, I swear to God, that's not the same person. Anytime you got the full body
It's not.
view.
No,
Okay.
it was. Yeah, it's known to be a stand-in on that.
Yeah, it was like that's an interesting choice. You think they would have had at least the same hairstyle?
Yeah, but the music in the pub.
Oh yeah, man! I fight the landlord's
Like,
daughter. Love that
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing with this movie. The music is so over the top, but it fits so well. Like I absolutely love it.
Yeah, yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed all the stuff. Even at the end when they were burning the Wicker Man and they were all there singing, and they were joyous with it, which fitted in perfectly.
Yeah.
Because they saw the sacrifice as a joy, really, didn't they? That their crops were going to grow again, and they were all well into it. Yeah.
But you're kind of like, how did they have? This is one thing that was sort of subtly put through it, which got glossed over. But like, how were they able to do research and reach out if they're so isolated? But then they didn't quite give you the scale of Summer Isle apples that it was an industry. Like that's what kept the island afloat, and that's how they had their isolation, because they had enough money that they didn't need to. Basically, they're making enough trade, and people are making enough money from them. They basically got left alone to do their own thing.
You'll have to just excuse me for 2 secs because it's 4:30. Do you know what 4:30 is? The dog. She wants her dinner, and I've made it up already.
All right.
All right, now that he's gone, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, dear.
She's on the ball, she is, this one. There we go.
Oh, see if I miss them two next door. If I don't put their seat in at like 7 o'clock, before they're looking at me. They're like waiting by the door going, what are you doing?
All my shit asses are spoiled. They have automatic timed feeders because I got sick of having to wake up at 3 a.m. to feed them. It's like, whatever, I'll just spend the money on this shit. So we don't have to worry about that. We just have to fill it up every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing with Summer Isle apples, that was their whole industry. And we didn't quite get the scale of it.
But there is
Chris, I think 4:30 is supper, not second breakfast. That's just way too late for second breakfast.
Yeah.
Second
breakfast
breakfast.
was just brunch, just before lunchtime. Come on. Because you have to have lunch and dinner. Like if you spend your whole day having breakfast, how are you going to fit the other meals in?
I mean, breakfast for dinner is pretty dope. Just saying.
Brunch. We had brunch yesterday. Yeah. So, yeah, we go to this little cafe that was on the finalist for best cafe in the whole of Wales. HORRORific, just to plug it. And they do strange concoctions like pancakes covered in Nutella, but with chocolate Oreo on top.
That's bizarre. That just sounds like a fucking party to me. Then again, I'm also a fat American, so
diabetes.
That's just one of them. But they call them stupid names like the fat slag and stuff like this. But they don't end it there. They say the fat slag's going down the harbour or something along those lines, and
that's
you actually have to order it. Like, can I have the The fat slag's going down the harbour, please.
Hell yeah.
Well, there was this. It was called the Windmill. This cafe when I was growing up, we had a caravan and a wee place called Malal, wee
Yeah.
seaside town. That's where we basically spent our summer, you know. And there's this cafe called the Windmill, and they had all the nudie postcards up on the wall, like and all the and like from 4 years on or onwards, you learnt all the innuendos and the jokes. Like the old the pregnant woman and thing, even a small prick can cause a huge swelling, you know, all those sort of jokes. You just
Yeah.
had them up and nobody thought twice about it, and families come in and you just wonder if that place is still open.
We need more institutions like that. I feel like that's where the world's gone wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, forgetting to laugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
everyone's a morose, miserable bastard today, and it's like bloody hell. It's
I was telling Colin back on Cameron. I was in Starbucks in Bridgend, and when I give Oreo something to eat, like if I have a croissant or something like that, and I give her a piece, I make her go 5, and she actually sticks her paw up like that. And the bloke behind me misheard, and he thought I was making her go Heil, as in the Germans. Right? And he turned around so serious and he went, I can't believe, he says, that you're making that dog beg to the German, like, I says, I'm not. I says, I made her say 5, 5. I suppose it does sound like Heil, doesn't it, if you mishear. Heil,
Jesus Christ.
5.
but that's people looking for that shit.
I was gonna say that's somebody that's wanting to be
being in all my humor. Then, I started doing it like in the German accent. So I was going 5. You will give me your paw, yeah, like this, and really pissing him off.
No, people like that. That's what's wrong with the world, because they want it to be there. They're desperate for it.
Yeah. But, it's so funny.
But yeah, this is still a brilliant movie. I can't get over it.
It is, man. It holds up so well. And it's a perfect snapshot of an era, like, of just brilliant British filmmaking. Like Christopher Lee, you said it earlier, I'll say it again. Like he was one of a kind. Absolutely amazing.
And of course there is a Lord Summerisle, and they actually had to get his his blessing to actually do this.
I love that they put that, like, that's the intro to the movie. It's like that legitimizes this. That makes this more believable. Yeah.
But, no, I thought it was very, very good. And the villagers, they actually looked like real villagers. Like they were. That would be on a Scottish isle in the middle of nowhere, don't they? And
they weren't just like Londoners shipped in or something.
They weren't in posh T-shirts that you would get in London or something like that. They'd be all dressed in like shirts that looked like they'd been worn for years, and top buttons done up with no ties and stuff like that. And then one of the things that, especially as a kid, was when that woman put the frog in the girl's throat.
Yeah.
Take her sore throat away, wasn't it? And I thought you could just see that happening in real life over there. In somewhere as remote that was living in the past, really.
My mum still did that when we were growing up. She had her ring, and she'd do like a symbol. If I had got something in my eye, that was the thing. If you did a symbol to ward off demons or something, it wasn't even like one boom. It was just normal. Everybody did stuff like that. Everyone had a thing of doing a symbol, or like a pagan symbol.
Yeah. Kiss it better was my mum's thing. Oh, hurt me hand. I'll kiss it better. Oh, it's better now.
Blood still bones jutting out, but yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, kiss it better.
No, it's funny. Most of those are gone now. That's the thing. Everything's just become so bland and homogenized. Little quirks, rituals that have been like through families for centuries are all basically wiped out now. And it's
Yeah.
nobody
it's
believed
crazy
it.
'cause
That was the
like
thing. It wasn't like people were going, "Oh, I'm going to cast the demons out from you." It was just a thing that was passed down generation to generation.
Well, it's funny, like over my side of the pond, like it's gone so far in the other direction, like the crystal worship and shit like that, where you just kind of want to throw a stick of deodorant at people when they start talking. That yeah, it's like that used to be a thing, and then it wasn't, and now it's getting to the point where it's ultra that thing, and it's just unbearably stupid.
Yeah.
But it's the same human behavior. I believe that churches and religion serve a purpose. It gives the weak-minded somewhere to huddle. They need that. People that aren't fully formed human beings need to do the group huddle. So it needs
Yeah, I
to be
mean,
something there.
yeah, they're just trying to find community where they can, and that's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit.
Yeah, but the problem is because I never found myself thinking that Christianity was a good thing, but what's replaced it is worse. Because you've got ultra paganism, and they are worse than the preachiest Christian you can ever
Oh
encounter.
yeah, absolutely.
Like I said, they've just replaced Amen with Blessed Be. Look at the woke crowd; they're just as hard. They're the Puritans. You know what I mean? They're just the opposite end of the other side of the coin of Puritans. You're a sinner. You're born with original sin. You'll never be purged of it. But pay me money to shout at you and talk about your guilt. It's all been done before. That was what the
Yeah.
Templar Knights did. That was what Knights did. They went and paid a priest to bless them to purge their guilt and to give them a few, few gold coins. Same's happening. It's the same behavior. Humans are predictable. Humans fall into
Definitely.
the same patterns. And the way that was set up with this movie, like they never talked about the Abrahamic religions doing sacrifice. Abraham himself was not the story. Abraham
Yeah,
was
that's like literally the story.
the main story, right? Sacrifice your son.
Yeah.
So
Then God comes down. Just kidding, bro. It's cool. You don't need to kill
you're
your
all
son.
right.
I just wanted to make sure that you'd follow my crazy ass words.
Yeah.
But
I
Albert Woodward plays this so brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
Even right
Yeah.
at the very end, like that the final scene where he's been played as a patsy.
he poos his pants, doesn't he, at the end?
Yeah,
He's like,
definitely.
oh my God. And you could tell he's there thinking, I've believed in God who's supposedly going to save me, and here I am. About, where is this God, so-called God that I've believed in, gone? I'm about to be burnt to death. Is this the end? So, and I suppose in a way, these Christian people would think, well, now's a good time for God to make a return, isn't it?
Right.
And, come back and save me, yeah.
But actually, Lord Somerville's character's like, I'm going to do you a massive favor. I'm going to make you a martyr.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And there's the highest accolade you can have. Like, you should be thanking me. Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, I happen to like being alive. But the actual the way that's played out, because the whole premise of the story is for those that haven't watched this,
Chris.
is Sergeant Howe is police officer from the mainland, and he's been sent an anonymous letter about a missing girl, and he's essentially gone over this island to find a missing girl. And as the plot progresses, it looks like the girl's about to be, used for a sacrifice because the crops failed, which is what this island relies on for its economy. And there was some strange rituals that happened that allow the apples to grow because really they shouldn't be growing on the island in the first place. But it's allowed this island wealth, and that's what he's basically trying to do is uncover this mystery and save this girl. As it unfolds, it looks like she's about to be sacrificed, and then we'll have this like race against time, and he's completely isolated. It's the technology of the day, so landlines and like radio signals can't carry, so CB radio back in. When did CB radio come into a thing? Because that was a bit of a game changer.
I used to operate one with my brother-in-law about
Well, I
late
had one in the 90s. I used to.
70s. I used to go down in his shed, where he had a CB radio. Yeah, because it
But
must have been
that was in
79, because I was working at my uncle's timber yard on a Saturday and during the school holidays.
Jeez.
My handle was woodworm. So it must have been, I must have been doing it about 78, 79.
So they were invented in 1949,
Yeah, I was gonna say
but
I'm
they
seeing.
didn't become popular until the 70s.
Yeah.
So ships and that would have had it, but we're
Yeah,
still.
so it goes back as far as 45 was when the first permit for it came out, like for private citizens.
But it was a boom in the set. So they didn't even have CB radios. They weren't a thing, widely popular or available. Probably an astronomical cost. It was only like major shipping lanes and that would have had it, or outposts, which makes sense. God, there was this electronic shop I used to go to in like the 80s, 90s. And that's all like the whole section on CB radios and that and various stuff and DJ equipment. It was like CB radios, DJ equipment.
Both the same kind of nerd.
Yeah, but that, I miss all that because there's a bit of an exploration now. It's just that you get a square box, you get a rectangle that does stuff, and that's it. And you might get a newer rectangle that does the same stuff. But there's no excitement anymore of putting a piece of equipment. The only thing you can really do now is build a PC. That's it.
And then people mostly use laptops, don't they? I mean, I know these gamers sometimes use PCs, don't they? Gaming PCs are thousands of pounds each.
Yeah, but that's the only thing you can. Well, actually, you can if you're building from scratch, you can do one for about £600.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy the group, but that's the last thing now you can really build. Where you used to build, like you built your CB set, you got your 2 arms, you got your your aerial, you got the right size for it, and that, and you had it all set up. DJ equipment, even TV stuff and consoles. There's a bit of building stuff.
Back when I used to DJ, I made my own lights, and used to fit a thing on it. I used to make them flash. But yeah, I built my own light boxes because it was cheaper to build them than it was to buy them. But
yeah, people don't do that anymore, and it's we're definitely losing something. Right? Should I hit the? Because I want to snip this for later. I'm going to hit the intro again.
Just go back to the Wicker Man. The boat that was used to transport him from the plane to the mainland there was actually belonged to the island. It had the eye on the front, and it actually belonged to Summer Isle itself, or the island where it was. So there you go. Bit of info for you.
Yeah, it's I like the way that they used the village, and it wasn't a set.
No.
And somehow the film crew managed
as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
They used some of the houses like they were going in and out. It must have been some excitement amongst the village to think, hey, they're making a film about us, and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that last scene as well. That's still harrowing today,
dude. It's so fucking just the claustrophobia, the pure terror of it. It's so good, so very good.
Yeah, and even like I said, Edward Woodward, he plays the part of getting burnt and realizing that he's not going to escape this so well, and there is a look of terror on his face. And then, of course, he stands out quoting the Bible still, and then he goes, "Lord, why have you forsaken me?" You then begin to think, is he done away with his Christianity?
No, it was "Don't forsake me" because I'm unshriven. Yeah. So because he's being technically part of a pagan ritual.
Yeah,
he's seeing himself as being unholy, even though he's he hasn't changed, but just by taking part in this, so he hasn't been. It's back to the whole Christian burial thing, isn't it? You know, that whole if you're not buried in hollow ground, then your soul disappears somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.